Hi there, my name is David.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is the Breakaway Show. First and foremost, thank you to, I can't remember the handle now, but we do read the comments and we were asked to introduce ourselves. So thank you, that is very valuable. We will...
Feels quite formal, but now that we've done it, let us know how we did and if we need to improve on our intros.
We do want to know if you want context around Sarah's background. There's a whole podcast on her, but we can preface these with Sarah represents the elite cyclist. She has raced at an elite level for years.
Forever, it feels like.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
Abroad in the States. She's also a sports psychologist, I would say.
Yes.
A coach as well.
Yes.
I very unimpressively just the founder of this idea.
Oh, not true.
And represents the enthusiast. Gravel, mountain, road. I enjoy all of it, but I'm not particularly capable at anything.
Could we say you're an entrepreneur? Business owner?
I mean, it depends.
You're a dad?
What would I'm a dad. I'll take the dad. I love my daughter. Okay, we've got a couple of things we want to run through today.
Yes.
But referencing our notes, the elephant in the room is undoubtedly Cape Town Cycle Tour. I think it will be very interesting, and I don't know what your notes on this are, so I'm very keen to hear, like, what does race week look like, perhaps from like a physical prep point of view. We had, the banter this morning. Today's their last ride. The next time they ride is Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
Some guys are doing 7,000 watts intervals like the day before. There's so many different approaches.
Yes.
It's really cool to hear yours as an actual elite.
Yeah.
Nutrition game plan. I've brought exactly what I'm going to be using, only because someone asked me as an enthusiast, like, what are you going to be doing?
Yeah.
And then I suppose because you do so much good work in the mental readiness space, it'd be good to understand some notes there. So that's what we think is valuable to cover for race week. I don't know if I've missed anything, but...
No, I mean, other than the fact that the roads were absolutely buzzing this morning, everybody from Joburg is now coming down for cycle tour. I'm sure there was quite a few people showing up to Tap Out Tuesday or Pure Savage Tuesday. I was on my mountain bike again, so hint, hint, nudge, nudge, like, can't wait to get that bike so I can come and join you guys. But one thing's for sure is Cape Town is officially buzzing. Yeah. The energy, everything is surrounded Cape Town Cycle Tour. I mean, I live in Noordhoek, off of that main road. I'm officially going to be blocked in for the entirety of Sunday. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, for a change, I'm not racing, so I'm a coach to quite a lot of people who will be participating. But I want to stand there. I want to watch it all happen and unfold and, get that FOMO so that I make sure I enter, for 2027. So I rode with somebody this morning, a really good friend of mine, also a Joburger, who's down, Ricky Lee. And from a training perspective, she was doing Tabata intervals. So 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, a very typical Barry Austin style build up to an event. I am 2 weeks away from my A race, so I was still doing 40-20s in terms of Tabatas. But something like 3 by 8 minutes on offs is essentially what a lot of people are doing at the moment. There are so many different ways to taper for a race. And one thing's for sure is everyone has their own way of how they like to do it. Some people love to trust the program, so then they follow like very diligent, studious athletes. Yeah. And other people focus a little bit more on how they're feeling. So from me, as someone who integrates both of them together, the whole purpose of this week is to build readiness. You want to sleep a little bit longer. You want to make sure you're feeling full of energy, have that excitement, the nervousness building. You want to take, a few rest days, whether it's a universal rest day Monday, maybe Wednesday, and then Friday, 2 days before the event is quite nice, especially if you're building into it. But you don't want to take, in my opinion, the entire week off. If you take more than 2 or 3 days off consecutively, your body starts to think you're on holiday. Yeah. So then when you get back on that bike, your legs feel a bit lazy. It's like you're churning concrete. You almost have to get back into the swing of things. So having 1 day off and then riding, 1 day off, then riding helps just break it up. And when you do ride, you always want to ride and finish feeling strong, feeling prepared for what you're doing. And pre-race openers, I love doing them. It makes me feel like I'm sharp and sprinty and activated. Yeah. And I do mine the day before a race. But there's some people who love to take that day before off. So what's your preference? What are you guys doing? Because one way is not the highway when it comes to this.
I think the the enthusiast, so my goals, I think a lot of this starts off with what is Sunday's plan? Like step one. So I want to go, I'm in the and category. So we're the third batch off on the day. It's the racing group for 30 to 39.
Okay.
Mixed with, some other age groups. The guys ahead of us are the 40 racing vets, 40 to 50. But then they've also got the 17 to the juniors, basically, that aren't an elite, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's like 17 to 18, U23.
Sub 3.
Okay.
And I want to try, for no particular reason, I'm like, can I get within that group? Can I be within top 20? Depending on how things are going, can I be in top 10? Like, if you're out there, you may as well do it. So that's my goal. So based on knowing what that goal is, I know there's 4 moments in the race where I've got to have ridiculous an 8-minute effort, basically.
Okay.
It's Edinburgh, Smits, Chappies, Seixas. If I can achieve those 4 segments, so everything in my mind is molded around that. I'm simulating on a Tuesday what my numbers would be 8 minutes. So it's interesting you said it's these 3x8s.
Yeah, how about that?
My wife, on the other hand, is going there to enjoy the day, experience it, soak it up. Doesn't want to suffer, doesn't want to sit out there and pedal the entire day, just wants to be ready. So those things lead you into very different, prep cycles, taper cycles, whatever you want to call it. Most importantly, though, you have to actually have tried something before. So I had that 99 a week or 2 ago. And I remember when I was coaching, that pre-race day, the protocol that you run through, I never felt good with that. I don't like to go in fatigued. So I much prefer resting the day before.
Yeah.
A wee-woo, so a chilled ride on the Friday, the wee-woo.
Yes.
And the Thursday to do like hard intervals there. Science irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's what I've felt the best. But if you never actually test that, if you never actually go and try and then do a race 2 or 3 times, even if it's not a race, if it's just a hard ride, you'll never actually know. And that's like the main thing is actually go and try.
Yeah.
Doing that. It's going to be a similar thing with nutrition.
What you probably found was that coming into the race, mentally, you were a whole lot fresher. You were so much more ready to suffer.
100%.
Yeah, and you take the day before off for you to just ground yourself and be ready and pack your bags and feel more prepared.
Yeah.
Where some people, maybe those who are slightly higher in pre-race anxiety or very, very nervous for something, then actually going for that spin on the day before helps just get rid of that excess energy that would rather actually tire you out just from like sitting there and going, oh, am I ready, and repacking and packing.
Now I want to throw the spanner in the works here.
Yes.
Cape Town is, as you very correctly pointed out, an absolute vibe at the moment, which while we're on that point, just be super mindful of motorists. They'd like hand out, if a car's behind you, you've held them up and they've come around, like just hand out, thank you, please. Yeah. Heavens, just remember that one thing. It diffuses so many tense situations. Again, we saw it this morning. You could feel there was a guy behind us revved. Everyone, like a whole bunch of people, put their hands up and they're just like, thank you. You could, whole thing diffused. Yeah. Everyone just chilled out. So just please keep that in mind. But that ride from town, anywhere in the seaboard, out to Seixas or Chappies and back, so good. It's basically like a race day. It's a forced road closure. There's the motorists, generally speaking, are just, they understand it. They chilled. There's people. There's all shapes and sizes. And unfortunately, that normally means whatever I want to do the day before is irrelevant because I suffer immensely from FOMO.
So if your friends are going out, you'll probably go out.
I had a whiskey tasting last night, like on a Monday. Who does whiskey tasting on a Monday?
You do.
Have sleep this week and rest your body.
You're off to a great start.
4 hours of sleep, and I felt it this morning.
So then let's talk a little bit about the kind of nutrition strategy, because it's not just about what you have on the day. It's also about the week going into it. So some people are still on the carb loading. Yeah, the carb loading, wagon. Other people work, especially if you're flying in from Joburg, they're crunching all their work in during the week. They end up not eating quite enough. When they get to Cape Town, they eat as much as they possibly can, and then they go race. So just from my side, stick to what you know. We said now is not the time to do anything new, but it's not the time to like skimp out. So, lunch is now, like
so many people
I'll eat an hour later. Yeah, so just because you're stressed or hyper focused in the office or have a lot going on before you fly down to Cape Town, make sure that you're getting your meals in frequently, because also your energy levels then stay high, you're recovering really well, you're going to sleep better. So don't try anything new.
Don't try and hit your race weight in the taper week.
Yeah, dehydrated the day before because you forgot to have
It's one of the most
electrolytes.
valuable pieces of advice I've received. So I normally, in that week, because you're not riding as much, you reduce your calories, your intake. Like, I think anyone in endurance is just super mindful of what you're consuming in a day. We write a lot off to our road 3 hours this morning so I can have this croissant. Like, that is... Which is also true, like you are burning, like there's definitely something to be said for that. Oh, I'm not riding, let me start cutting back, let me trim down. And it's the days that you're not eating, you're not fueling properly, you're not recovering.
Yeah.
When that was pointed out to me, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like actually just remain consistent. But you don't want to be losing weight in race in the week of a race.
There's definitely a time and a place to polarize your nutrition, to change the macronutrient ratio of what you're eating per day to help complement the training, the rest, and the recovery. But the week before, nah, you're all good.
Yeah.
You guys are coming here to have a good time. So think about it in that
Soak it up.
Yeah.
Nutrition on race day it's an interesting one because I don't think, I'm not qualified to be giving anyone advice on this. I'll share what I've used.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I'll share what I've been simulating for the last 8 Tuesdays.
Cool.
Obviously, lower doses. The race at 2 to 6s was like the final test run. So I worked back from how long I think I'm going to be riding. So I'd assume 99, it would be 2.5 hours, and it was about there. And worked back to, so we sat with Reese last week actually, we spoke about like in quite a lot of detail, the 2-to-1 ratio, and that like you can only, normal human beings, your body can only process 90 grams of carbs an hour, 60 through the one, it's not receptor, I don't want to get the terminology wrong, but fructose through the one and glucose through the other. So that is like the max. So I don't want to be at max. I don't want gut distress. So I find my sweet spot's like 80, 70, 80.
Yeah.
So I've got a high fructose, 2 to 6s of high fructose, isotonic, high energy. Race day, they've got all different bunch of stuff. The high fructose is quite harsh. It's a lot. It's like 60 grams. If you mix it, you can get 80 grams of carbs in a bottle. So I don't like to drink during a ride. So if I have 2 500 bottles, I'll use one bottle at cycle tour normally. But that obviously doesn't.
You and probably half the field, to be honest.
I just don't want to be reaching for bottles with a group of 300. That's like the big thing.
Yeah.
That race gives me so much anxiety. So I have 60 and 60 in there. So I'm like, that's hour 1 and hour 2, pretty much catered for. And I'm then using, so I steered away from caffeine for a long time. And because I had this like post-ride bonk, which is if I have 2 coffees at a coffee stop and then ride, get this like coffee bonk sensation. I was like, don't use caffeine in a race.
Okay.
Turns out I actually really enjoy caffeine in a race. So I'll start off with, these are extra small gels, so they've only got, it's minimal, 30 grams of carbs actually. That's not minimal.
No,
so it's
not
quite
that.
packed.
That's like your standard gel. Most gels are between like 25 and 30.
Yeah. So this is quite stacked, but I'm mostly taking this with the caffeine. So this is 55 milligrams. I have that on the start line, 95, which I'll take at probably 45 minutes. And I call this the dynamite stick.
It's even got like a black lid to that.
Extreme energy shots, 250 milligrams of caffeine. This
Oh.
doesn't taste great. This is banana flavored, but you get no banana. It's just like pure horrendous caffeine.
Yeah. And do you know why people opt in for caffeine while they race? Did Reese explain a little bit about?
We didn't get into caffeine.
Okay.
I did genetic testing long ago, all the different markers that you can test. And one of the things they look at is how quickly you metabolize caffeine. So that they give you a rating of that.
Awesome.
And I'm pretty quick. So I'll have that in within minutes. I can feel it.
Yeah.
But I'm having my last gel. So my goal is to go sub 3, aiming for anything in the 240s. So the last thing I'm having is at about 2 hours, hour 50. I'm taking that.
Yeah.
And it's, to see me through. So that's my approach. Those 3, I want to have as little carb content in. I'm mostly taking it for the caffeine and then my dynamite stick. And that should average me out at about 70 grams of carbs.
So basically, caffeine helps lower the rating of perceived exertion for the effort that you're doing. So it's a performance enhancer for sure. I mean, those who, before you have your cup of coffee, you have your resting heart rate of X. And then when you have your cup of coffee, your heart rate goes up and you feel more awake and attentive. It's also a great antidepressant. Like, there's so much benefit for caffeine. And when timed well, then we can use it as a performance enhancer. But on the bike, with your body metabolizing it, especially if you're a fast, like your metabolic rate is quick to absorb and to send it into you, actually what's happening is if you're going flat out, the idea is that if it's a 10 out of 10 perceived effort, it will now feel like a 9 out of 10. And it gives you that extra ability to dig deeper.
Wow.
So caffeine is a very... It's a beautiful and legal performance enhancer.
And critically using the word perceived.
Yes,
so
it's your
it's
perceived.
Not actually physiologically.
No, other than giving you a bit of
blood
advice.
cells, and it's a mental thing.
I mean, we can bring Reese back in, and we can definitely dive into a little bit more of the science, because there is. I mean, your eyes dilate, your blood, your veins and everything, they do, the words are all wrong here, but like everything expands essentially, and your body is warmer, your heart's beating faster, everything is working. So there is some physical element to it. But ultimately, especially in the world of sports psychology, the value of caffeine is that it lowers that perceived exertion. And that's amazing. So oftentimes when people are racing...
I love the show. I literally never sitting here. I really never knew that. That is unbelievable.
In ultra-distance racing, for example, we time our caffeine quite carefully. And general template to caffeine is every hour and a half. But if you're racing for 8 hours, that makes a whole lot more sense. If you're racing for 3, I mean, you can take one on the start line, one half the way through, and technically you get the most benefit, depending on how fast you metabolize caffeine. Yeah. So I'm a very slow caffeine metabolizer. So I do respond well, but I often lean more into the carbs, because I'm also quite an anxious rider. So I'm already up here when I don't need to go here and then blow myself to pieces. Yeah. So sometimes caffeine would have an adverse effect, and it would actually make me feel more out of control than in control. Okay. So it depends on who you are. So take a look at the kind of gels you have.
Trial things.
Yeah, and just make sure, like, if you're someone who hasn't been taking a ton of caffeine in while you're racing, Cycle Tour is also not the race to do that. It's a beautiful, beautiful race, but how many pinch points? 4. So so get through those 4 pinch points. And I also love, like, so you're a gel kind of guy. There's no bars happening.
Can't eat on a bike.
And are you someone, because I've been experimenting a lot with prehydration. So cramping, electrolytes, all the training is done.
Don't cramp, so I don't have to worry too much about that.
Oh, what a pleasure. You prince, you.
Running, I've cramped once. Fortunately, it's not one of... Look, I have other horrific genetic traits. So I haven't won the lottery. One of them, fortunately, isn't cramping. But I'll have a Revive mixed into a bottle going to the line.
Perfect.
In something that I can, dispose of responsibly.
Yeah.
And, oats in the morning.
Yeah.
No protein in the morning, just pure, like, rolled oats, that sort of an art. That's it.
Awesome.
Simple. Which I don't like eating in the morning. If I could not eat for a race, I wouldn't, but it's...
Yeah. A lot of people...
The science is too compelling that it's just not a smart move.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people, especially the start times at Cape Town Cycle Tour, it's early. Yeah. So if you're not used to eating so early, you can opt in for more of like a blended smoothie, a Future Life shake, overnight oats, things that go down quite well. But the prehydration and getting those electrolytes in before the race is actually proving to be... It's a saving grace for a lot of people who do cramp at the end of races, like Cycle Tour.
Because then it's in your body, and that's
so
mitigating
again,
cramp risk.
Leading up to a race, sometimes people are good at eating, but then they forget to hydrate throughout the week. So you're coming in, plus the travel. Some people are driving in, some people are flying. You actually come into the event quite dehydrated, and then now you're excited, and you forget a lot of little things that you normally do. If you're someone who drank 4 cups of coffee a day, you come into Cycle Tour, you haven't had your cup of coffee yet, things are going to change in your body. So this is me as the athlete talking now. I started pre-hydrating from both fluid and electrolyte perspective 2 days before the race. So I would have your 750 mils of electrolytes throughout 2 days before, and then the night before I also make sure, like, just to top up according to taste and satiety. So I don't just like force it down, because there's no need to do that. And then the morning of, just like you. So I sip on my also Revive electrolyte bottle. It's nice. It's become a part of the pre-race routine. Maybe while I'm warming up, if you guys are riding from your accommodation to the start line, it's a perfect place to just sip on it. What I do that's slightly different is I have one bottle that's 90 grams of carbs, a 750 ml. So I'm sponsored by Powerbar. Powerbar's, the evolution of Powerbar since I was first on it since 2019 has been incredible. And a lot of these products now, they call it like the black line, which is essentially their high carbohydrate line of nutrition. And I've been testing it. There's Morton has it, Amex has it, Powerbar has it. So I thought, well, let's give it a go. One bottle is the 90 grams and the other bottle is Revive. It's just electrolytes. And over longer distance events, for people who are planning on taking 4 to 5 hours for cycle tour, splitting your carbs and electrolytes helps you and listen to your body, and your body is going to go, am I thirsty for electrolytes or am I thirsty for food, for carbs, for Coke and water? Like, what is it? And you get to choose. And those people might not be too shy to grab their bottle because they might not be riding in groups. So everyone, again, nutrition, I would love to get a nutritionist in here. There's some incredible ones in the Cape to see, well, what are the different options that people use and what's working.
It's so vast. To go back to the caffeine thing, I know Reese would be keen. So I must invite him in. And having said that, anyone else that is qualified in the field and would like to, I mean, this platform is open to anybody. We know Reese is in our community. He rides with us. He races with us. So it's an easy access point. But he is also incredibly accomplished, and I don't want it to sound too pompous, but he's qualified to talk about it. He's the guy that is reading white papers. He's researching shit. He's not a hype machine.
Relevant.
You will never hear him like bluntly just punting, premium nutrition. He's so objective, which is rare. And he's entirely fact-based. And he doesn't just like regurgitate what is, the fads. Which is not to say that you have to be, certified and qualified to come and have a conversation, like by all means. But to have that caffeine, like to zone in on specific things, like why caffeine and what does it do, like the more detail and focus, the better. What is overtly obvious when I sit with Reese is I can only drive the conversation so detailed because my subject matter knowledge is what it is. Where if you put someone more knowledgeable and experienced, that conversation would be so much more advanced. So definitely need to do that. And then, you could have a nutritionist on every week and you can be tackling stuff. Like there's, the vegan cyclist, there's a whole rabbit hole, like how do vegans feel for things? Breakout, who works behind the cameras, he's, pretty extreme cyclist. He's yet to come join us on a Savage Tuesday. I can't tell you why, but he's the vegan. So it's like, how does he feel? That's a relevant topic. It's like, fucking vegans, no one cares about that. No, there's a lot. Everyone should care. And
products these days are catering for different diet choices. So what will be really nice with Reese coming in is he can actually say, well, it is a possibility to get the right amounts of protein, carbs, gels, bars, whatever, based on the specific diet of choice. And some people don't have a choice. So what about those who gluten intolerant? What about those who have allergies to bars that have peanuts in them? There's options and
then you've got discipline. How do you feel for an epic tour, which next week we'll have this conversation. How are you feeling for an epic, a 7-day gravel race, a 1-day, 2-hour 40 cycle race, a marathon?
And running fueling is so different to cycling. We sit on our saddle, we sit on our asses and we can chow. Where with running, your whole body is constantly shaking the entire time. The digestive system works a whole lot different. And I don't know how people can eat before they run. I feel like I would shit my pants halfway through.
And they do. They do. And then when we really want to get to ninja level, we'll tackle the triathletes.
Yes.
Because that's the hybrid of all the extremes in one go.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice being average at 3 sports, so we can bring that up.
100%. We'll represent the punter.
So cycle tour, anything else important?
So exciting news. Alec has been we've managed to get a official bike vehicle. So Alec is the other person behind the camera. He's our creative director.
Very
He's back from Taipei. He looks calm as well this morning. He had quite an intense start. He hates being in front of the camera, so we're going to bring him.
We should bring him back.
For those behind. He's going to be on a bike on the day, the official bike. We've never done this before. We are not official media.
Okay.
We never want to be, but we want to tell stories at events. So thank you so much, David Belez and his team, for arranging us a bike. I think it's awesome that they're seeing what we're doing and they're like, we'd love to have your perspective. No rules, no, we want this, give us that. These are the things we need. Like just creative
freedom.
license. It's so rad. So
yeah.
Looking forward to that. We don't know where Alec will be, but when we know and we've got a plan, we'll try and share that so we want to get different perspectives. You're not going to see like a classic cycle tour race report. It's like, we'll do our own thing, but that's one thing. I think the most important is whether, it's like the talk of the peloton at the moment is it going to be windy? Is it the conditions are changing every day? And I think more than anything, like if I could have one thing achieved, is just that we watch pro racing, we're going to talk now about the classics and all that stuff. We don't have to sit the wheel and half wheel each other and keep millimeters. Like no one is going to check who won the $sign, @ A batch, B batch. No one is going to see who won it. Most of us have got families that we want to go home to in one piece. Just calm down a little. Like everyone's going to race hard, but on the descents, then there's crosswinds. Like just be careful. More than anything, like you don't need gaps like this between things. And people just like they completely overreact. And people have died at cycle tour. People have been seriously injured at cycle tour. Like don't take it lightly. Just be responsible. There's like nothing else matters more than that. And then obviously enjoy yourself.
The only Cape Town cycle tour I've done was back when John Wakefield was my coach, and he got an entry, and we were both on the mountain bikes, and we went and had a lot of fun. And one thing, because we started mid-pack, so it was more just for a really good training day. And something that I just really want to reiterate is, and what you're saying is, guys and girls, just ride within your limits at all times. And that you can still race, you can still have a lot of fun, but when you descend, especially when you descend, is ride within your limits. Something that's really important is because there's massive road closure, they have guards and marshals and people there to help you be aware of the dangerous sections in the route. The year that I did it, guys came like swarming around one of the corners. It was right after Suikerbossie runs, and there was a collision between a marshal and a rider. Now, it's devastating what can happen when a rider is going 60 k's an hour straight into a person who isn't wearing a helmet, isn't wearing protective gear, because they're your marshal. They're there with the flag and everything like that. So I think the cycle tour have also learned like where to position their marshals. But it didn't go well for both the cyclist and the marshal in that particular element. And we were thankfully there, and we were able to support until the ambulance came. But when you are descending, in mountain biking, we call it trail awareness. You don't just look at the wheel in front of you. Look through the group that you're in. Look where you're turning. Brake preparation. See where you're going, because you will then notice the marshals that are there with ample time. So you can slow yourself down, go around the corner appropriately, and stay within the bunch. Those who are in front of bunches that are going flat out, if there is something that is, you can see.
Call it.
Yeah, call it. And I love cyclists or roadies are often like, hole! And then I'm at the back like, where's the hole? But, just to make a noise, just be a little bit aware of what's going on. The roads are magnificent at cycle tour. And so if you guys come together and pull together, then there's going to be no issues. So ride within your limits and call out what you see. Yeah.
One other thing I will say is thank people you see on the side of the road. This is probably the only event as a cyclist where you will have the thrill of people cheering for you. We're fortunate to interview people that raced back in the day and I can't get over the image of thousands of people going up the glen to Signal Hill. Imagine that, all in the road, screaming like we see on TV.
Gives me goosebumps.
This is literally. Dave George was telling me about that. And anyway, this is the one time of year you can see people are they've given up trying to beat the traffic. They're going to
Yes.
just come out, they're going to support you.
Yeah.
Just thank you. Like, it's probably the most common thing I say on race days. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, thank people. And also, if you know people that aren't cycling, even if it's windy, I remember the one that rained, people out there with umbrellas, like, go out and just enjoy it.
It's going to be
Just
me.
be part of it. It's probably the most amazing sense. It's like when you win a Rugby World Cup, that energy that's in the air.
The patriotism of
South Africans, we do that every
Yeah.
4 years, standard.
it's now a UCI Gran Fondo event. So, I mean, the caliber of cycle tour has just been elevated. So I wonder, I mean, do you know what changes are they going to be to cycle tour, or is it literally just a stamp on label?
It's stamp on label.
Okay.
It doesn't, there's no change to the duration. There's no change to anything.
Okay.
It's qualified. It's ticked the box.
Okay, nice.
And there's a few people we following the stories of Jason, who really wants to, doesn't just want to, I feel qualify. But he wants to then go and compete at this Gran Fondo Worlds, which is amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to qualify for that. So rad stories there.
Yeah.
But if you're not riding, go out and support. Low key, this is the most influential time cyclists and motorists can be on the same team. That's like, you almost don't want to say it because then people are in the mindset, but like, this is your one chance in the year to try and bridge some gaps. We're not going to change the whole world in a day, but like, there's a chance. This is the best chance we have in the year. Thank organizers, thank marshals. If you see Balaise, if you see David Clark, if you see the rest of the team, thank people. If you see Alan Windy, thank him. When you see Jordan Lewis at the start with his gun, thank him. Like, just be grateful for what we have. I've met so many Europeans in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And they just, all of them are like, we don't have, the racing you have here is unbelievable. Like, they only have races for pros there. There's nothing for punters like this. This is the biggest timed race in the world. We've mentioned that a few times. A guy from Poland this morning is like, no, I don't think so. Like, the whole peloton turns. It's like, no, it is.
It really is.
Good to meet you this morning if you land up watching this. I think he's a subscriber. But like, there's a lot to be grateful for, and just like, don't assume that they know you're grateful. Just fucking say thank you.
Are there
To
water
everyone that you see. There are tons of water points.
Okay, so you will be
Music,
filled.
Vibes. It's just, it's such, I really want to try and beat the FOMO of wanting to race this thing and just go and do it with a group of mates one year and stop at all of them. And if you do it that way around, and if you have, please weigh in the comments. It's apparently just like the best day. Water points everywhere, big sponsors involved. Coca-Cola always comes to the party big time. And they don't just put product there. They've got literally fucking trucks with big speakers and people jumping around and dancing. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's cycle tour. Good luck.
Yeah,
Have fun.
good luck.
Be safe. We'll see
Enjoy
you
it.
out there. Obviously.
Yes, I need to have a big sign so everyone can see.
Go Savage.
How's it, the Active Hobo crew? So my forecast for Cape Town Cycle Tour this weekend is, I think the Breakaway is going to do it. I think they're going to get to the line. The Breakaway that goes up Suikerbossie. There's usually an original Breakaway. I don't think they're going to make it. However, you never know. Don't count that out. But yeah, I think the break that goes up Suikerbossie, or the move that goes up Suikerbossie, will make it to the end this year. That's my forecast for Cape Town Cycle Tour this year. It's going to be a fun one. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Hey guys, Tyler Lange here from ASAP Pro Cycling Team. Really looking forward to the 2026 Cape Town Cycle Tour. Should be a great day out. A lot of really good riders will be on the start line, which always makes for very exciting racing. And yeah, we've had a great start to the year as a team. So it should be very exciting to see what the boys can do. We've got multiple options to play. So I think, yeah, it should be a great day out and really looking forward to it.
Cycle Tour 2026. How do I think it's going to play out? That's the question David asked me. To be honest, I'm hoping it's raining and miserable, because then at least the racing will be a bit harder. In last year's race, you saw with the tailwind, nothing got away. Everyone kind of stayed together. I made the racing super, super easy, and then came down to a bunch sprint, as do most races in SA now. They're not hard enough, not long enough. to form certain moves. But when you throw wind and rain in, then you can see it becomes a bit harder, a bit more challenging. So definitely, I think we're praying for a bit of rain and some wind, not too much, so that it's not cancelled. We don't want another Cape Town Marathon, sorry. So yeah, I think if it is windy and raining, I think you'll see an early move go away. And I think then you'll start to see some of the favorites try and jump across to that early move. There's only 2 critical points on the whole race. In the beginning, you can say staying safe and not getting involved in any crashes, and then getting ready for Chappies, and then recovery, and then Suikerbossie again. Hopefully this year no convoy is in the way down to the other side and brings back the bunch, so that obviously we can see the select few stay away. And I think that's what will happen again. I think it will be the same as like it is in the previous couple of years when there's a bit of wind and rain, or there's a bit of wind coming from the Cape Town side, not from Nurduk side. You'll see that there will be a bit more bunch splits and a bit more aggression. I do think you'll start to see some of the favourites get away up Chappies, the likes of Kent Main. Obviously Mark, always every year he gets up there. Not sure if Luke Moore is doing it. Haven't seen the thing. I think Luke Moore is definitely one that will get away up the climb. And then you'll see some of the sprinters hoping it will come back. It would be nice to see the sprinters or the favourites still be able to climb and get into that move, and then as long as it doesn't come to a bunch sprint. But yeah, I think that's what will happen. I think there'll be a small move if it is windy and a bit of rain as we expect. Small move gets away, and then the bunch will split up over Chappies and guys will jump across. I think it'll come down to whoever doesn't make the move will have to do all the work through Misty Cliffs and Komiki, and then obviously the counter attack will happen up Chappies, and hopefully it stays away. Mark's won it before. Now his focus is on mountain biking and everything else like that, so we're just going there really just to get ready for Cape Epic. So, there's no pressure on Mark to do it again. He's already done it. It would be nice to win it, but it's not a priority for us anymore. So Cape Epic is. But it's always fun to race. It's always fun to race a ride like this, which is one of the most beautiful routes, I think, in any race format in SA and across the world. I think it's one of the most spectacular routes. So let's see.
From one race to coming up to a race gone by, did you forward me that video of Vollering
Yes.
leaving herself out?
Yeah, so I mean, there was 2 classic races this weekend, and
Classic season is opening.
Yes,
So I think just for anyone
debut.
that doesn't know, it's the most prestigious races, one-day races. They are predominantly in the north of Europe. There are 5 major classics, and they are just the most prestigious. Everyone wants to win them. Tadej Pogacar wants to win every one of them. It's the coolest racing, man. It's like for one-day stage racing, one-day races, there's nothing better.
And these events provide opportunity for breakthroughs to happen. Not everyone is good at racing for 3 weeks in a row. With the women, it's 10 days in a row. Stage racing is very, very different. So the classics give way to opportunity for, if the whole team is working for one rider, if something happens, the whole team will shift and adapt to ride for another rider and start really punting strengths within that team. Classics, especially in Europe, Belgium areas, the roads are narrow. There's cobblestones. It's very exciting. It's explosive. Sometimes it ends up in sprints. Other times we see a sprint that starts where Demi, for example, starts the sprint, but she just rode away literally to the win, which was a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch, because, we see riders coming into the classics who have prioritized the classics. These are their events, where others use the classics as like ammo and training and fuel to do better later on in the season. So this weekend, how did the guys do? Because I'm very like, okay, where are the women? What are they doing? Who's sprinting at the moment?
One thing just to mention on the women, I've actually Googled it, Chuck, so I wasn't sure what the answer was, but it's critically, it's a big stage for women that never was. I haven't been following cycling my entire life, so I'm not sure. Maybe you got a better idea. But it's a huge stage for them. So because there's so much media around these races, the woman getting access to that, like it provides a stage for breakthroughs. Vollering is by no means a breakthrough. Where has her form been? How expected was she to perform in that?
I think in this particular event, she was one of the favorites. When she went ahead, they created a break, and then the two of them were somewhat working together. I forget the girl behind. She definitely deserves a mention just because of how, for two women to break away, right? For two women to break away from the entire peloton, like that's no joke. So it takes a lot of effort, a lot of force. Those doing cycle tour, when you're out in the wind by yourself, then you'll know how difficult it is to stay away from the group behind you. Yeah,
we have significant wind.
And so I think she's always automatically a favorite. She's got a great presence on social media. She's very honest about where she is, how the market is, how the team's doing, how she's feeling. And so to watch her stand up and make the decisive move that we spoke about last weekend, that full commitment all in to I'm going to win this at this moment. We were all like, yeah, we knew she had that. Yeah. It was exciting to see what would the duel look like. But when she broke away, we were like, okay, yeah, she's still a legend.
The other day in the female elite cycling, there's like just such dominance in some of the races.
Yeah.
I find it so unpredictable. It's not, like, let's be real, when Teddy's going for it, barring, I think it was San Remo, where he can't win. He can't beat Mathieu because there's nothing big and hard enough for him to exact his...
Yes.
With
and
females,
that's the beauty of the
you don't know what you're going to get. So as a pure punter watching the race unfold, as like live sports for entertainment, it's so exciting. But to answer your question, what happened there? So it was called the Omloop het Nieuwsblad, and Van der Poel won with a solo attack. You talk about breakthroughs. There was a 19-year-old, I will not get his surname right, but it's Seixas, Paul.
Okay.
Seixas. And he secured the Ardèche Classic. So there are classics, but the main ones, the monuments as they call them, those 5 are like a race. And people like Teddy, Mathieu, Wout, those are like gold for them. Also for their palmarès, for their own brands, what it unlocks for them in terms of sponsorship.
Yeah. The exposure is good. People are talking about it.
They are classics, but they're not like the main ones. I think the first main one is, I'll make sure, but I think it's San Remo. Milan San Remo, which I've been to. It's like pinch yourself when you go and see. So it goes from Milan to San Remo. It's so amazing. It's like, you can literally ride there. If you go to the south of France and you just stay anywhere there, you can ride through Monaco, through Italy, all the way to San Remo for free on the most amazing roads ever. And it's like, then you can go do the Cipressa, it's ridiculous.
I haven't been on honeymoon yet, but that's a good idea.
No, you should. You should. Tour of Flanders, I was actually supposed to go to that. We'd entered to do it. You can do the race the day before as a spectator, then you go and watch. It's only Easter weekend.
Nice.
Gabriella's first Easter with us. Probably not
yet
to do.
Yeah.
But you can do that, and I think ticket was a few $1,000. Obviously, you got to get there. Get your chic on bike bag so you can get your bike there. But it's actually really achievable. If you want to go and do any of these classics, you can go the day before. After that, Paris-Roubaix, that's arguably the
coolest one,
probably the biggest
most
brand.
Exciting,
Liège, Bastogne-Liège, and the Lombardia.
So these are
those are the monuments. Those are the biggest ones out of all of them. But there are other classics.
Yeah.
I didn't know this a year ago. So guys are like, the classic, and it's you read. I can't remember the name of the one that's you just one. I was like, but that's not one of them. No, that's a classic, but it's not one of the monuments. Okay, so for anyone who didn't know, there's your crash course, and it's now there's always a male and female.
Yes, that's awesome to see.
But I don't think, I'm pretty sure, what was it that with the Paris-Roubaix? I don't know that was always open to the women or not, but I remember there being this whole row a few years ago when, the epic shot from that race is afterwards that they all go to open showers.
Yes.
And there's always these pictures like the mud over their face and in these open shower areas. It's just like such an iconic picture.
There's been a few years now of the women doing their version of the
And they took a picture of I can't remember who the woman was that won, and that went viral for all the wrong reasons. People were basically like, the image isn't the same because it's a girl. Just seeing the shoulder, nothing like no nudity or anything.
No.
But there was just like connotations applied to it, and it went rampant, and I was like, men are terrible human beings. Like, look at what they do with everything. I was like, yeah, there are some crazy people out there, but the media coverage you got.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they finish on the velodrome. Like, you get your lap of, celebration. It's so amazing. And when the women do, I think there was that EF Education First lady, the Canadian. She also came and did the Nedbank Gravel Burn. So she has experienced quite a bit.
Can't forget her celebration.
No. So, I mean, that was absolutely incredible. She's the one very lively, active, dancing all over Instagram.
She's crazy.
Like those photos, it's so interesting from a male perspective versus female. I mean, I was shielded to all of that negativity. When we saw it, I mean, all of us came together and we're like, it's about time, and look how beautiful this is. And like, you could see
that was the majority of the sentiment.
Yeah,
it's the 1%ers.
You could see how exhausted both men and women were on that finish line, because it's such a physical event. So many crashes, so much like out of your control, and you just kind of have to hope that your bike stays in one line because you're constantly bouncing all over the place. And to come out winning something like that, I mean, it's career changing. And those photos in the shower, or with the shower with the low walls, I mean, that is like prestigious to be able to to wash off that entire race. I mean, there's tears in that shower because of how difficult it was, but it's like they finally got seen enough to do it. So
it's probably been, so here it is, 2021, exposed shoulders in grubby concrete shower.
Yeah.
And they were saying it was considered, I mean, it's like the stupidest thing you've ever read before, but this was, and then, the headline after that is like, these are the things that make news, not the results.
Wow.
So I'll put a link to the article there. It was random that
glad that we've talk about fads and things we've graduated from. Like, that's so 2021.
Everyone else looked at the picture and they were like, iconic.
Yeah.
This is like, women have been waiting for this picture forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll keep covering the.
We'll show that photo too, because that's also the best.
And look at, I mean, the word is just like,
yes.
We'll screen grab that. So that's the classics. I think the racing every year is probably the most exciting to watch. So keep your eyes glued. We'll keep covering them as much as we can. There is a lot of very good coverage on them. Lantern Rouge is probably my favorite. He's just absolutely exceptional. His race analysis is like second to none. GCN, if you want a more corporate feel to it. Super Sports, hit and miss. Like,
depends if you subscribe.
We'll maybe cover it at some point, but they've been bought out by, a French-owned company. So our access to everything is going to start to change.
Yeah,
Winter Olympics was removed, so we didn't see that this year for the first time ever.
Yeah.
The classics coverage is normally decent, but it's not ideal. So maybe an interesting one to cover. Sometimes you won't see the women's race. So those kind of things are quite annoying.
Yeah.
Lantern Rouge is a great place to go and recap on any of that.
Okay, nice.
So
good to know.
It's amazing how deep we go on any of these topics. We have these 10 things we want to get through.
I know. We always have so much to talk about, but
We haven't even mentioned the fact that Cam wasn't here today.
Oh, yeah.
Because he has other actual things to do.
If you haven't noticed, there's only two of us. So, Cam, we definitely miss you, but let us know what you're doing.
Let us know if you believe that, Cam, because I just remembered that you're gone now. I don't know that we can say that we miss you. What I can tell you, though, is that Cam has helped us land our bums in the butter. It's not confirmed yet, but he's working really hard on some premium level access for us at a certain event coming up in the near future. We'll leave Cam to introduce himself. He's a very interesting character. He actually should sit down and do a podcast, but he's got like proper background in the industry at C6, works within a world tour team. Cam's...
And he's young, which is what I love. He's ambitious.
And he's raced at a high level. Like that I can ride a fucking bike. So that's that. And then I suppose we can't finish a Tuesday without our segment analysis. So we are not going to banter endlessly around Joburg versus Cape Town, because we've all unanimously agreed engine to engine is tougher than Chappies, because common sense dictates a 56-minute effort is harder than a 9-minute one. Jokes, Josie Butts. But I don't think that's even debatable. Engine to engine as a segment compared to Chappies it's stupid tough.
Yeah.
It's at altitude, like for all the different reasons. So
Yeah.
what we'll start doing is actually looking at the segments. So we'll screen grab what we're seeing, we'll put it up and you can see there.
Yeah, and if you haven't loaded your ride, then sorry, snooze you lose as
And
well.
we'll be looking on a Tuesday. We're not going to
Yes.
backdate and try and find Friday. So if your group ride is not on a Tuesday, try and make your Tuesday your suffer effort if you can. Monday, like we said, is the internationally approved cycling rest day.
day.
So there's no reason you can't race on a Tuesday. But what are we going to look at? So we're going to
Okay.
keep it to engine,
Yeah.
and we'll look at
And
Chappies.
Chappies. So today, engine to engine, just for those who don't know, it's about just under 40 kilometers segment. Average speed this morning was 37.4, but nobody went under an hour. So fastest time today was done by Marius and Wes, 1 hour, 2 minutes and 26.
That's not chilling.
So
What's his average heart rate? Can you see?
153. But that sounds low. It really depends on how old you are as well.
Yeah, at one, I'm averaging 155 for an hour. I'm riding at pretty much at around my FTP.
Yeah. So
Just
Marius, Wes, Mick, Franz, GP, Crispin, Grant, and Wesley.
Well done, Marius.
Yeah. Really, really great times.
GP 7th, Grand Page.
Oh, there's two. So Graham Parker was the
Minutes
GP.
off the pace. GP, I am absolutely appalled. At 157 heart rate, so your heart's working harder than the guy 8 minutes faster than you.
We got some work to do.
I'm extremely disappointed because he's my like inside man. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
GP will take them all down.
Okay.
Maybe he's tapering.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
We'll send. This should go live today, so we'll tag GP to get his version of events.
Yeah.
Alec and Rechoff both looking at me like, we'll lock
Got some work cut out for them. And then interestingly enough, so Chappies climb. We weren't sure which exactly was the segment, but it's the one titled From the Bottom to Top of Chappies Hout Bayside.
of spelled with a P and an F. Like
Yeah,
whoever
who
labeled
did
that segment? Come on, bro.
Whoever did that needs to edit it.
East Rand Education.
But
to make the
so-
joke because I'm from there.
Today, we did get some sub-10s, but only 2 people went sub-10 this morning. And Grant Rolf, you are considered a Joburger / Clet / Cape Tonian. But well done, average speed of 31, heart rate 181. So
Okay,
he was
Grant went deep.
actually going for it.
Conditions were tough this morning. That power
Really?
can't be right. He must have been averaging more than that. Unless he's very light.
Yeah, he is. He's is it bad to call a guy skinny?
No?
He's a machine.
Like a township dog.
But he did a 9 minutes, 56 seconds. So well done. And then Carlton
God.
Miller, you're the only other one who went under 10 minutes, just 9 minutes, 58 seconds. So well done, Brew.
With a heart rate of 140. Yeah, Carlton's a beast.
Yeah.
Carlton's proper strong. I think he can willingly go sub 10 whenever he wants to.
Yes.
Carlton, quite frankly, we should be looking at sub 9s here for a man of your pedigree.
And then for the top 5, so third was Barry Ross, 4 Carl.
Look at
Vosloo,
Michaela there.
And then
the weapon.
5th, Calvin Southwood. From the women's perspective, 5th.
Calvin can go sub 10 easy as well. He's a weapon.
So 5th on the stage, total, but in terms of women today, we had Michaela who did a 10:27, and then Lisa Breyer. Also, we consider you a Joburger because you married one. But well done on 2nd, Magda 3rd, and then Kyla 4th. Courtney Webb 5th
Cannot
on the
wait
day.
to
Well
see what
done.
Michaela does on Sunday. She's
Yeah.
so fast.
Awesome.
Nice one, Mix. That is
well
that
done,
is rapid.
everyone.
So glad to see there's a pure Savage on top of the podium there. Unfortunately, the Savage that's most often on top of the podium is Michaela. It's seldom a man these days. Jay, fortunately, has put some pedigree in there for us.
Nice.
So the Savage ride today was officially it was literally called a social ride
Okay.
today. So there was it's a pre-Argus ritual. But good to see other guys went out there and other girls went out there with vengeance. What did Michaela was 10:27? Conditions weren't super fast this morning.
But she was
that was
giving
a
it
hard
because when I
earn.
saw her, she was going flat out.
Grant, I'd love you to jump in the comments and tell us what was happening this morning, because that looks like you guys were a 2-man sub 10 team in tough conditions.
Hauling it.
Yeah, well played. Segments you're not seeing here you want us to include, please let us know. There's a request for Thump It Thursday. Bicycle line I used to ride with in the East Rand, they did that, was quite a tough loop. You often had Pritzen out there pacing on the front, murdering oaks. You will see, what's his name? Kenyan, he was here and he raced World Tour, he's all Premier Tech. Can't believe his name's eluding me now. He's won Tour de France with Sky, Team Sky. Oh my gosh, how am I
It's hard to ask the mountain biker. I need to get my road knowledge in.
We might have to edit this out, so it's so bad. The South African, the Kenyan, that's chippered his passport so he could get into the World Tour, man. How have I not remembered his name? It was Team Sky, it was their main oak.
I hate to say it, but we still didn't talk about running. I'm so sorry to all the runners out there.
In Chris Froome. How did I not remember Chris Froome?
Oh.
So Chris Froome's on some of the segments on the rides because he used to train there.
When you said Kenyan, I was thinking of completely different.
His story's unreal. If I could get him in that chair, I'd be pretty stoked. But any segments you're not seeing, we still don't have a Durban segment. We have rumors of a Sizzler, Twizzler, Saturday fun ride or whatever. Please, someone that rides in Durban, give us a Tuesday segment we can look at. Rally your troops, go murder each other on the road, and let's enter Deben in the chat, please. Stroll down to everyone out there. I'll be amazed to see anything super fast the rest of the week, I think.
Yeah. Now you taper, you chill, get ready to race. Okay, for our tech talk rabbit hole, we've got something special for you guys today.
Dirk dropped in yesterday. Dirk is the importer of Challenge tires. They're an Italian brand. They're proudly handmade. I'm not going to do a whole brand punt because we don't do that. But he popped around to tell me that they've got a new tire, not knowing that we were shooting this. I was like, if you don't mind leaving this with us for an hour.
Perfect timing.
Please let us chat about them.
Yeah.
Sarah's actually raced with them before.
Yeah.
You've got pretty deep ties to them going back in the day. So the news headline is that this is the new tire. It is in terms of, so they range. Let me start there. You've got the Challenge Elite, which is entry level, like $1,100, 1,100, 1,200 rand. You have top of the range criterium. If it's raining and you're scared of punctures, don't use this tire. But if you want to go as fast as humanly possible, this is the quickest tire you'll buy.
That's the one to do, yeah.
But not great in the rain. That is their...
So it's their Strada tire, their Strada Pro Series tire. Also quite fast, got a little bit of tread on it though. So it's the perfect all-round tire. And light. I think people don't realize how light the Challenge tires are. I mean, for your bang for your buck, what you're getting here is you get speed with comfort, right? Because that's what you want.
At the price points, there isn't a comparison. Yeah. I know because I've done it. And I've got GP5000s, I've got P0s, I ride across all of them. Yeah. That always happens. This only happens on a Tuesday. So I have no allegiance to any of them. I ride all of them. And in terms of rand value, you can't compete yet. And they are just as fast. Yeah. But then this enters the chat. The Stagioni. Nice. Love the name. And this is slightly heavier than this. Okay. Puncture resistance wise, rolls as fast. So this is a premium priced tire. You can see the tread on there, and critically, we'll put up the image that he sent me. It's easier to put on. So it's pre-shaped. You'll see that the image, like the level of detail these oaks go to is crazy.
And easier to put on would be very helpful because I don't know how many times, not with, it's like with road tires in general, if that thing has to come off, God forbid, I have to put that back on.
He told me that there's a running joke about Challenge tires being a challenge to put on. Didn't know.
He's trying to rebrand it at this point.
But yeah, a phenomenal tire, a new one in the mix. When these land, so this is just the only one he's got. When they land, he's prepared to give us 2 for you to try, Cam to try, me to try. Anyone from the audience, you're welcome to come and pick them up and try them as well, which is really cool of him to do. Yeah. And then let's get some actual user-based reviews. There are some pro reviews that have been done across the media, so I'll put those links in the description for anyone that wants to see them. But yeah, great tires, and I love the tan wall on them. The visual aspect of these tires,
it is very cool.
Very rad. What is your experience like racing with them, out of interest?
Well, first things first, when I changed from the tire that I had to the Challenge tires way back when, my normal route that would normally take me an hour and a half took me an hour 15, no extra effort. So rolling resistance is very low in comparison to a lot of like entry level or mid-range tires. So when you put these on, what I did find was it just rolls better. In mountain biking, we talk about rolling resistance so much, but at the same time with road tires, you want to have the structural TPI content that makes you have confidence while you're out there. And so challenge tires were the best of both, where it's a fast rolling tire. They, width wise, you can actually go quite narrow, but still feel super confident. Puncture resistant, especially back in Joburg. That's where I was riding on them. And then to be able to actually go faster without the effort needed to do that. Imagine then what you can do when you race.
Ridiculous time saving.
Yeah, so I ended up getting my best time for 947 on them. It was such a pleasure to be able to climb effortlessly in comparison to what I had. And it actually made me do something like a sub 1 hour and engine to engine. It was thanks to tires like
They
this.
say bang for buck tires is your best weight, performance upgrade, and rolling resistance.
Yeah.
It's like the number one, and it's so overlooked. This is going to sound like a sponsored ad. It isn't. We literally picked them up.
Just from experience, it's the truth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Other thing about this, they go up to 35.
Oh, nice.
Tire, which is crazy.
Can I fit that on my gravel bike?
Yeah.
We should try.
There isn't a gravel bike that won't. 45 is kind of like the minimum.
Okay.
But yeah, easy.
Okay.
Easy. But your endurance spec bike, you can now fit this too, and you've got a light gravel option, very low tire pressures. All of these are tubeless compatible. It's crazy things happening at the moment. He says in Europe, when this released, with no media behind it, they sold 2,000 tires within like an hour.
Wow. Well, we got to get South Africa on the map then. Yeah.
So stay tuned for the Stagioni. I love that name. Stagioni review. Yeah. Dirk, thank you very much. And good luck with this tire. I hope it sells out at every single store it gets stocked in. Sunday is actually an activation ride for next week Tuesday, for anyone that doesn't know. So if you're aiming for a sub 10 next week Tuesday, whether the gods permitted, that's your day. Cam, we did miss you, but Sarah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah. And good luck to everyone racing.
Enjoy spectating. I can't wait to see the shots from your point of view.
Yeah, cool. I will.
See you next week Tuesday.